Can you please tell us your name?
Isabel Benavides.
Hello, Isabel Benavides. I'm very happy that you are here right now. Can you tell us where you're going to go to high school?
I'm going to go to Phillips Academy Andover in Massachusetts.
Yay! Hello, proud father.
Yes, I am very proud.
Can you tell us your name?
Jorge Benavides.
And can you please tell us, starting from the beginning, about your experiences that led you to go to Andover, which is amazing, and where presidents send their kids.
Okay.
Tell me.
Should I start from the very beginning, like when I started prepping for everything, or should I start from for the Andover specifically? Everything?
Let's start from the very beginning.
Okay.
Good. Very beginning. Deal? Okay, go.
In second grade, I guess I wasn't getting the best grades, mainly like 2s. And I think you were a bit worried because you were prepping for my brother Matthew, who goes to Hunter now. And you thought that, oh, you want to get me on the right path as well. So he started sending me to other prep schools, and they weren't really working out. So you found out about Kweller, right? Mm-hmm. And he sent me to Kweller, and it really worked for me, and then I got on the right path, and then I wanted to go to Hunter as well, so I prepped for that, and then I missed it by 2 points, and then I prepped for some other things such as like the All-Stat test or baccalaureate.
When you say prep, how often were you at Kweller throughout, since third grade?
I was there probably every year, consistently on Saturdays, sometimes Saturday and Sundays.
So every week, sometimes once, up to twice?
So then I prepped for everything, and I got into some places, and I went there, and then I got into the Talented and Gifted School for Young Scholars, which is where I'm at now, and then from there I was prepping for the SHSAT, and I got into Bronx Science from Kweller, and I also prepped for the SSAT, which is like the private school and boarding school test, and I got into Dalton and Andover. Amazing.
Can you give some advice about your test prep journey? Because you are, in every sense of the word, a product of outstanding hard work and effort and family and commitment. And you're going to one of the best schools in the country, and you've received some scholarship opportunities as well. Can you just give some guidance to other students who will be following along in your path?
Yeah, so like not only for me, but from what I've seen from kids at my school as well, it's not really about like where you start out, how smart you are at the beginning. It's about how much work you put in. And I think like, for example, Kweller, they push you to put in that work, and they give you that work. And so like kids who you wouldn't have expected to get into places at my school, they did get into places because they really worked hard for that. So yeah, it's about the work. And for me, I worked hard as well. So, yeah.
Do you feel that you're a woman going to this incredible school, and your background, which is Hispanic, what country are you from? Your parents?
I was born in Ecuador, but I grew up here.
And I would imagine her upbringing is different from yours.
Yes, it
your
is.
Goal, do you feel that you've accomplished your parenting goals with your daughter right now?
I'm very proud of my daughter and both of my kids on what they've accomplished and what they will accomplish more in the future.
So, as a parent, and also if I could add as a single parent, how did you get this done? One child goes to Hunter. He's graduating. What school did he select?
He's going to go to the University of Chicago to study economics.
One of the best schools in the country. And your daughter is going to one of the best high schools in the country. And can you give some guidance to parents on how to follow along in your footsteps?
So I think the educational process, it's a partnership between the kids and the parents. I think the parents need to put as much into it and not just send them to school. You get education in school, but I think you need to go beyond that, and that's why I started seeking for additional tutorial for both of my kids. And
what made you select Kweller Prep? Because to be fair, and as flattered and honored as I am that you're here, I mean, you live all the way in Brooklyn, and Isabel goes to school in Manhattan, and her mother's in the city in Manhattan, and you live in Brooklyn. And what made you come to Queens for tutoring? I mean, there must be other prep schools, although I'm very, very grateful that you're here, but you have spent years growing up at Kweller Prep.
So we did look at other alternatives at
And
other
we went
schools.
there for a while.
And actually, Isabel and Matthew did try going to those places, but they were more like just.
I think the environment wasn't as nurturing, and I had more of a connection between like the tutors at Kweller for one thing.
Definitely, that's I think what makes the big difference at Kweller is the environment, the tutors. I think somehow you have the magic to select the right tutors.
Yeah.
There are kids that can still relate to the younger kids to some extent. It's probably because a lot of them are right out of college or in college now, and I think that's important. I think there are also kids that are patient and work with the kids because not all the kids are at the same level at these tutorials, and somehow they're able to pace each of the kids to meet their goals.
If you could say something that you're most thankful for from the prep school, from the environment, Isabel, can you share what are you like really, really grateful for?
Like he said, the tutors, I'm really grateful for them because they always asked me if I needed help when I wasn't able to raise my hand and when I was too nervous to. And the tutors, they really wanted to connect to me, and they weren't so strict. Of course they were like disciplining us, well, not like in that way, but they were making sure we were getting our work done. But they wanted to know who we were as people, and they were kind and nurturing, and they cared about us on a deeper level.
And we could
I would say as a follow-up on that, I think it was also important that the parents work with the kids in making sure that they continue doing the assignment, actually email the tutor, and they would work with you on whatever area of the subject might be.
And I want to give you, as the parent, a lot of credit because as a single parent and from a different borough where the prep school is located, to travel here, can you give advice to other families on how did you just juggle so much?
You just have to make a commitment and have the dedication to do it. And I'll have to add this also. My kids also played sports. They just not good at tutorials.
I used to play soccer, and now I do lacrosse.
Every week, every month?
Every weekend, and even in the winter. So, it's a lot of juggling, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. I think also when you're applying to these prep schools or the colleges, they do look at kids that are the full package.
Yeah,
well-rounded, not just kids that can score highly on the test.
Isabel, can you give some advice? You applied to the best of the best high schools. You got in. Specifically, you did some interview prep here, but can you give the kids advice when you were actually interviewing for these top of the top, cream of the crop schools? What advice can you give to students as they're preparing for these high stakes interviews?
Well, I think for me, I'm naturally like an extroverted person, so that of course helped. And I think they were really looking for kids who were like just who they were. They weren't trying to be someone else or anything, and they wanted honest answers. And I think one of my friends kind of said that sometimes they're not like you just have to be who you are, because sometimes they might be looking for a specific kind of person, and so if you don't fit into that package, maybe that's not your fault. Maybe you don't belong there that year then, And so for me, I just happened to, I guess, fit in well. Like when I went to Andover, they were saying, you have been selected, you have been chosen, you have been specifically put in this place because you mesh well with all the other kids that have been selected this year. And so that really stuck with me. Oh
my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to have your acceptance letter on the walls.
Yeah.
The famous walls. That's so great.
Yeah, that stuck with me, that they're saying that they placed me here basically with all these other kids because they think that we'll be able to challenge each other, and that we're the right set. We've come from the same batch, I guess.
That is so great. I want to thank you for your wisdom, your transparency, and for participating in this interview, hearing about your success.